We'll call this meeting to order at 18:30 hours, and before we get the meeting going, Ann would like to make a statement.
We just wanted to publicly acknowledge and comment on the passing of Frank Rafferty, who was the lister in Guilford for over 30 years, for a long time, and has served this town in that capacity very diligently for quite a long time. I don't believe there's been any public acknowledgement of Frank's death at this point. I don't think there's been an article in the paper or obituary. I don't know why there would be an article in the paper, but an obituary. So we are aware from our town perspective that we need to appoint someone, and we did want to let people know that we will be appointing a lister to serve out the remainder of his term, or to serve until town meeting.
No, the remainder
of his term, which would be till March 2014. So we will be interested in any applicants who would like to fill that position. We will also be talking with the current listers about how we'll structure filling that void that has been created, and we are just wanting to express our shock, actually, and awareness and sadness at Frank's sudden passing.
Thank you. Okay, we recognize the public, which is our usual Ian and Mike. And approval of the minutes of 114 and 128.
I'd like to make the motion that we approve the minutes of 114 to 13.
I wasn't there. Oh, yes, I was.
Oh, that's right, too. No, you wasn't. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'd like to make a motion that we approve the minutes of January 28th.
All in favor? Aye. New business. Windham County Humane Society. I dropped the ball. I'm going to blame it on the storm. We had two options, either a contract for the year or a one-time assessment for the Humane Society to help us out. There's been problems in the past where folks have picked up dogs and cats and whatever beside the road and taken them to the Humane Society, so we've never given them any money. They wanted us to sign a contract, I think, a few years ago, and we didn't. Now we have a new dog officer, and I think we're going to need some help from. In fact, we just had an example where the dog was a stray dog that nobody knew, and it ended up going to the Humane Society, but we had to wait a certain length of time to take it there.
And we'll probably have to pay a fee. We'll have to pay a fee?
Yeah, we have to pay a fee. And I called Humane Society, had a conversation, and they sent us a contract and also a one-time assessment, and I was supposed to get back, and I didn't, but the one-time assessment was $700 for the year. Contract was...
So for a $700 for a year flat fee, if anybody in Guilford takes an animal to the Humane Society, or if we take an animal to the Humane Society, it's covered, and that sort of flat rate?
That's what I was supposed to clarify, and before we make any sort of decision, I would like to do that. But that's my thought.
I mean, my feeling is, frankly, that whether or not we've intended them to, the Humane Society has had to step in and help us out more than once.
Yeah.
And we don't really have the same kind of options that we had. Well, we have Mary Ann. That's a pound. So,
right. Which we've always had a pound.
We've always had a pound, but we've always ended up with people taking, when they don't know that or whatever. I mean, I'm curious to know how much we've used the Humane Society. I feel like we owe them something.
It also falls under the category of human services to an extent, and we do give a fair amount of money to a variety of organizations that we do get services from them. So,
and it's one of those. How much do we get the Humane Society?
We don't. We haven't, and we.
I see. So we could consider doing it that way, just in the town budget. You said, or embedding it in the select board budget.
Either or.
Yeah.
What do you think, Troy?
Let's do
it. Yeah, I'm not sure which is the better way out, whether to sign the contract or...
Well, I mean, it's $17 a day for a dog. I mean, that dog stays there 7 days before somebody comes to claim it, that's,
It won't take too many dog days to clean up that $700, will it?
no, I actually don't think so. And then if one's gotta be unfortunately put down and everything like that, I mean, it goes by the weight of the animal, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, unfortunately, I'd have to say I hate to see dogs go there, but I'd go with the contract, the yearly contract of $700. I think it would help us. Honestly, I think it would be, because I know there was just one at the dog, our dog officers. I mean, granted, it was picked up by the Bay Retriever and taken in,
Wonderful.
but if that would have went to the Humane Society, I think our dog officer had that dog for like 10 days. So right there's $170. That would have been almost a third of that contract.
But we will continue to have a pound that.
Yeah, we have to have a pound.
Yes, we have to have pound by statutes.
Okay, so I mean, it feels like if there's a value to this, I would go with the $700 contract as well.
Yeah, I would like, are you gonna check into this
I
more?
will,
I
yes.
mean, we could do, since we've already warned the budget for fiscal year 14, we could go a year on a per basis and see how it pans out.
We could do that also, yeah, I mean.
And then contract with them,
Yeah,
or we might lose the
Let me get
contract.
back to them.
Yeah, let's get more.
You're getting back to Humane Society?
Yeah.
So
See if it's still an
tables,
option. I
yeah.
think if it's an option, we should do it.
Yeah.
Even if we haven't budgeted for it, I hate to say it, but for $700, I think we could.
Yeah.
If we don't budget for it, we end up using it a little at a time, we could work our way up there incrementally.
You guys have this thing if you don't want. Okay.
Yeah, I only have one. If you had any comments at the beginning about that.
We know you've had a long day.
Okay, that's all. It was just for that. Thank you.
Wyndham County Sheriff Department School Partnership.
Okay, I got a letter from the school principal today. I will just read it aloud, I think that would be best. Dear Guilford Selectboard, I'm writing to introduce the idea of school partnering with the town in regards to contract with the Wyndham County Sheriff's Department. After speaking with Sheriff Clark, it appears that it would be cost prohibitive for the school to enter into an individual contract with the Sheriff's Department. However, the school would be interested in contributing money towards expanding the services that the Sheriff's Department provides Guilford to include weekly stops at the school as well as more episodic services such as truancy cases and providing security for major events such as graduation. Again, my intent in writing to you is to introduce the idea. Following town meeting, the school board would formally approach the select board for consideration for this proposal.
Okay, the sheriff department, when they're out here, they check the school anyway. And we contract them for traffic. And most of the other stuff is gratis that they do. In fact, they wrote off a huge amount of money this year that that investigation they did, it was billed to us, and I called them when they wrote it off. I can have them do a little more presence up there, but I hate to when they come out, you can't set them on a schedule. They operate on their own.
So exactly what is John proposing? Is he proposing a set amount of additional?
Yeah, and the school would contribute, and this is just...
Is this for the next fiscal year or for this fiscal year?
Fiscal year 14.
Okay.
Some financial amount that would be given towards enhancing the services that we already get through the town and kind of rounding it out to include the school more comprehensively.
So they've included that, I assume, in their budget?
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have any problem with it.
I know, but it just.
Basically, what they're saying is, why don't we put some money in the pot and we'll increase our services, right?
That's exactly
That's
what it is.
exactly-
And they're saying
So
part of
there's
the
town
services that we
benefit.
would increase would be swing by the school once a week and do truancy calls. Who does truancy calls now?
Right now, I think it goes to the state's attorney.
Oh,
That's what we have a constable for. I mean, that's.
Unfortunately, your constable's working during the day when the truancies happen.
principal's not available. That's just a sad fact.
Yes, it is.
I personally think that would be absolutely good. I can't see any reason not to do it.
And I mean, we could even say, you know, that they could bill in such a way that X amount of $333 per month is ours.
Why?
And if we wanted to capture our hourly rate that we get for an event, they could bill out at that rate. And
I believe John has talked to Sheriff Clark about this.
Mm-hmm.
He was the one who promoted this idea to the principal.
I mean, it allows flexibility. It's sort of on the trust basis. The trust basis is, I'm going to be giving you guys more time, and John, I'm going to be assuring you that a third of that time will be used. I assume you're talking about a third increase. Was that it? 33% more time?
I believe so.
I can't remember.
I can't remember how much they figured into the budget. You was at the last meeting.
that part wasn't discussed
It wasn't?
on the record, no.
Well, regardless, I mean,
I was
whatever.
waiting for it to come out.
I
because was gonna speak to
think it was between 3,500 and 4,000.
It
I
might
want to
be.
say something like that.
Does it not say
That-
that?
No, it's not specific. I mean, I can certainly find out for you.
But they would be
Follow up.
specific. They would have that specific information.
Right, and I think what it is, you know, having not on a regular basis day, you know, set day and stuff like that, but a couple times a week swing up to the school,
Yeah, I mean, I
walk
think it's a good
in, walk
idea. Mm-hmm.
around the school, stuff like that. So, well, you want to make the motion?
Not yet.
Yeah, he's got to talk some Marketel. He's
I'm
remembering.
trying
Got the
to.
thinking.
He's trying to think of a
He's
way to
got
be
the
double
Abe Lincoln
advocate.
thinking going.
I am, because since we contract with them for traffic, if they're going to the school, that's a whole nother, and
It's a whole other responsibility, I
it's a whole other
understand.
responsibility, and why can't they contract with them themselves rather than go through us?
There's some reason.
Because it's double than what we're paying. Where they're just wanting to
Cost
piggyback.
prohibitive for an individual contract.
They're wanting to piggyback on top of ours. That's all it is. They're throwing some money in to sweeten the pot. I think it's a good idea myself.
I do too.
So what does that mean we contracted the sheriff's department for a year?
It means that we contracted,
Well,
let's say we have been contracting with them for,
$4,000.
I'm going to say hours, okay, just to make it easier for me. Let's say we've contracted them for how many hours a week? 5?
9 hours a month.
Okay, so a couple hours a week.
Yeah.
All right, so I would assume that whatever the school gets would add up to maybe an hour a week.
Probably.
And during that we would still get our 2 hours that they would spend on traffic ticketing, the stuff that they do for us. But the additional time would be spent either swinging by the school, walking through the school, pursuing truancy cases. Johnny, why aren't you in school? Where are you supposed to be? That kind of stuff. And that they would keep track of their, or Dick, where are you supposed to be? So I would assume that it would just be a way of the school getting services at the town's rate, and I have no problem with that.
I think
I'd like to make a motion to that effect, that we allow the school to piggyback on our contract, expand our contract.
Should we maybe have a conversation with the sheriff's department to ensure that this is a green light? And so can we enhance our contract with you to include the services of, because currently it is just this. So we might.
After speaking with Sheriff Clark, it appears to be cost prohibitive. However, the school would be interested. Okay, so I assumed that he had spoken with Sheriff Clark about this, but now I'm reading this and
I believe he
And I think
has.
he did on his own individual contract, but I don't know if he specifically talked to Sheriff
Okay.
Clark about.
I'm going to restate my motion. I would like to propose that we allow the school to piggyback on our contract with the Sheriff Department pending confirmation by Sheriff Clark that this is a situation that would work out easily.
I like that
And that
pending, I like that pending, and
You like that pending?
that gives me time to.
I will try to find the right word that would make you feel like it.
Gives you time to try to work your way out of it.
Okay.
I second your motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yay!
Can you please contact the principal and let him know what's going on?
I absolutely will. I will email him and copy him.
Thank you.
Dog officer 2.
It ain't me, baby.
I was gonna ask, does it make sense to have a second dog officer?
I thought we had to.
We used to have alternate.
We had a dog officer and an alternate, and now we have a dog officer and a pound are separate, totally separate, and it creates, I have no problem getting a hold of Walt.
Well, you don't.
You don't, but everybody
but
else
everybody
does.
else does. And the
Yeah.
example that when
Well, how many hats do you think I wear in town?
when
I mean,
when a person I know very well had a pit bull that seemed scary outside their door that was unidentified and tried to get a hold of Walt and was not able to, the next person that person called was Marianne. And luckily, Marianne knew who the dog was. But that was an anxious situation when you have a small child in the house and you have a pit bull outside your door that you don't know where this dog came from.
Speaking of that, and it's back to this Humane Society thing the other day, I was driving down the road and this woman says, stop, stop, stop. Do you know whose dogs these are? She had 2 dogs in the car that she picked up beside the road. And I knew who they were, so I took them home. But I mean, there's a case that she probably would have taken them to somebody.
Who used to be our alternate dog officer?
Who
Who was
was?
the alternate dog officer?
We don't have
No, who was it? when we
Walter
had-
was the alternate one.
From Bill Nightingale.
Bill.
Who
Yeah.
was the hound,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Bill was the dog man, and his boy was the alternate, and Walt took over dog officer with his son, with Bill's son was still the
the
alternate.
alternate. So, I
And that-
guess what I'm saying is, does it make sense to have Mary Ann be the alternate so that she can take dogs?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think so. I think it'd be especially good if it were her rights, because if her or Dick, but I think if she could then take the dogs. I'd like to make a motion that we ask Marianne if she's willing to be the alternate dog officer or second dog officer, with the understanding that she can also impound the dogs if
That's the thing, is she can receive dogs, but she can't go actually
get
get them.
She had my number.
I second your motion.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, Tim.
All in favor?
I was hoping you weren't going to be here.
What do you mean you got a haircut and everything, Dan? Are you looking
Just
awesome?
for the camera.
Can we get a close-up of that here, please?
Town officer vacancies, these are, voted on, public funds
Well-
voted on town meeting, and the list there would be,
Well, we have a vacancy in the trustees of public fund now. Craig Wells.
that's right, we have a vacancy in the trustee of public funds
And it's
because
not
he moved out of
distributed.
town.
Yeah.
Craig moved out of town?
He
Yes,
did, moved to
he moved
Halifax.
back.
I thought he moved to Maleva's house.
He did.
He did.
Did he move again?
And he moved
Yeah.
I can't keep up. Okay.
All right, it creates a vacancy in his office, which is not
Yeah.
this year.
So actually, we have
So-
2 vacancies.
We have a person to appoint for it. You ready?
We do.
Yes.
Remind me first what the trustee of public funds does.
They oversee the trust funds for the town.
So these are all of the
For example, the Bullock Fund, and that
Right.
$100,000, they would,
they check the books, make sure it's, and they,
No,
are they in
they
charge
actually
of the
check the books.
scholarships at those?
nope, there's a
Scholarship.
scholarship
That's
committee.
the
But
whole.
So we-
they would invest, I guess you could say, they would oversee.
Okay.
It's not a huge role.
Who
But
are
there's this,
current trustees of public?
Don McLean,
Mhm.
Todd Mandel, geez, I spaced on his name, I couldn't pull that one out. And it was Craig.
Okay.
So,
So who have you got on the hook?
Penny! Penny Marine!
Did she offer to do it?
I asked her and she's like, sure. But the thing that's the best about it is she's trustee for some of the funds already anyway.
Yeah.
And she's a signer, it's a constant person. We oversee the funds anyway.
I make a motion that we appoint Penny Marine as the trustee of public funds.
Man, you are just too fast for me.
Oh,
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the lister,
Love her.
candidates, because of the tragic death, early death of Frank Rafferty, and at this time we are looking for
And
candidates.
anybody who is interested in putting their name in the hat.
Guilford resident. They must be
Guilford
a
resident.
registered voter of Guilford.
Yes. Okay. And we can move on to old business now. Green River Covered Bridge, your favorite.
Oh, what's happening now?
Nothing, it's just an amendment to the original engineering agreement.
I
Okay.
heard we're gonna move the bridge.
Stop it.
Still waiting for all kinds of stuff to come up.
So,
That side goes to Halifax, that side goes to Corey.
there's just it ends up being a, like $2,500 increase in the original scope of services for the contract for the engineering firm. Because for the first piece, we didn't have all of the alternatives that they had proposed, like the fire retardant paint and the investigating the wing wall, that sort of stuff, and completing additional survey work. But we had a credit for archaeological work, so it ends up just being like a $2,500 difference. I ended up having them take the load testing
Yes.
out. And I'm
That's
going to
a
tell
very
you, Why?
Go ahead, no, go ahead.
No, you say, because I
Oh,
think you're
that's
going to
an
forgive me for
important- no.
taking it out.
No, that's an important thing.
I had him not included in the grant.
So you're saying it is important, it should be?
Yeah, we actually should really know what the load rating is.
Exactly.
But the reason that I have them take it out of this is it doesn't influence the work that they're going to do on the bridge at all.
Right.
Yeah, but it influences the bridge after they're done.
It's not going
well,
to change the load rating on
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
We would just like to know what the load rating is for the
How much
fire
is-
trucks and our trucks.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's a very important.
we need to know what it carries.
Right,
Yeah.
because,
So when you said you took it out, what do you mean? You took
It's $8,500 of work that's in there that we could probably get it done for less on our own, outside of it being government money.
right. I don't know who does the load rating on them or
I don't
who you
know.
would get. I mean, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, but I think we need it.
So
I
why
can
did
have
you
them add
take,
back in.
why did you have?
Because my fear is that as we get into the actual meat of the project, that it's an old structure. We might need money, and the load rating isn't, if we need to do a piece of construction, the load testing is something that got kind of added in.
I see.
That doesn't affect the design of the bridge, that doesn't really have anything to do with the construction or any part
Yeah.
of the
We're probably
project.
looking at weight-wise about that. and
That's
what-
18,000
Yeah.
pounds just.
The
to-
grader is 32,000.
Oh.
It's 16 ton is the bridge.
Yeah.
And I asked the engineers, I said, is it gonna really end up changing our load rating on the bridge? He goes, no, probably not.
Well, I think it's something that we should have done, just so we know what.
Could we build it, could we build it into our budget for FY
Yeah,
15?
yeah. Or if we had money left over in
Or if I go
the
through the bridge in my tractor, I went through the bridge in my tractor today.
Well, the biggest thing is, we don't go, the only time we go through it with any kind of weight on it is in the wintertime.
Yeah.
You know, and he just puts
Yeah.
enough sand on just to do what, I mean, but
Yeah,
still, I mean, that's
absolutely.
that weight.
That is that weight.
We're going
So
through it with a grader every time we go over there, you know, that- like I said, it's 32,000
it's
pounds,
at the backs of the
you know, and it's,
bridge.
So
Just
at
like-
this, so we are not challenging the load rating that's already on there. That, the amount that you take through there is what it's rated for.
no, we're a little heavier than that, so I mean,
So we're rated currently for
16 ton,
ton.
32,000.
32,000 and,
8 ton.
8 tons.
Oh,
18
right,
tons.
excuse me, 8 ton.
Illegal.
Yep,
so 16,000.
1,000 pounds.
Yeah.
And so it's already over that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would take the grader through.
So what they're saying is it's not going to be any better when it's done in terms of the
No,
It's not gonna
no,
change
but
the
I just
rating.
wanted to let you know what the,
rating.
But if it deteriorated, which it could have, we'd like to know that.
right.
So what are we going to do about whether to put that back in at this point or back it in? How were you talking?
What do you think, Dan? Should be done sooner rather than later, or?
Well, I would just.
I would do it
rather-
after the work's done, wouldn't you? Or
I
just-
would feel a little more comfortable knowing what, even after they get the work done, what
That's
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they weren't, they were gonna do it before, which to me
Which
makes no
it don't make any
sense.
difference if they want to do it before,
Oh, all right, yeah, I see.
I think
which would be no problem either. At least
Yeah.
we'll know what
it
the
was gonna
load
be
rating
part
is.
of this project definition, which to me made no sense. Why would you do it before you've done the rehabilitation of the bridge?
The
Wouldn't you wanna
bridge.
know what it is after?
Well, it'd still probably be the same after they get it all fixed up. I mean,
Because they're gonna drop that big cord off the bottom.
that's,
That's load right there.
yeah.
So
I guess I
would think
would
it makes
recommend that
more
you do it
sense to do it.
afterwards.
Yeah.
I would think it,
Just have it done
Sometime.
before they get sometime.
right, well, I guess then, does it still get included as part of the grant money being spent? Or do we
I
do
would,
it?
because it'd be part of the historic,
Sure,
you know.
but I guess that's $8,500 that if we run out of money.
But you're saying two things though. One,
See-
you're saying
see,
that they're
my-
going to do
my-
it up front.
Yeah, they do it up front.
Is there a
and
way
my
we
whole
can
thing
leave it in
is-
the budget and have them do it after the work is done?
I will ask that.
Because that would make sense to
Yeah,
me.
it doesn't make any sense to me that we front load an expense of $8,500 where in the end, if we end up being short, we could have not done that and not had any additional money
I
spent.
think it's got to get done. I mean, I don't care if it's before or afterwards, but it needs to be get done.
So let's find out if it's in there, if it means, if they're gonna do it beforehand, I don't see any point. We know what, you know.
Well,
It doesn't make sense to do it.
But if taking it out means it's gonna not be covered by the grant first or last, and you're right, it may be other things, may have an expense we have to bear anyway, but we want to do it. If we do, we can budget into our.
I'm just afraid they're gonna get in
See, don't
there.
we have some money in the,
There is,
Yeah.
yeah,
and there's money in the bridge fund.
yeah.
But
So you can back it out if you want for the, if it's a
yeah.
part
I
of the
just-
pre-work.
My
But-
fear
but
is
we
that
will
we
do
would
it.
get into it, and whenever you touch something old, things pop up that weren't anticipated, which are
Okay, no, I
added
understand.
expense, and there's contingency, but
So
I'm afraid if we don't have that
I think we
contingency.
agree that we can pull it out of the pre-work, but that we want it done.
Yes.
Because I don't want somebody saying, well, that bridge is falling apart because of their trucks.
Yeah.
Right, of course, yeah.
Well, yeah, 'cause they
And what's
say
more, you don't want it to fall in the river.
Right, you know, if
Well,
they
not
say-
only that, I mean, if they
But if
gotta
we're
take a
buying
fire
it
truck
in the
over
hole,
through
then
there
we
or
have
something
way
like
too
that.
much
Yeah, I mean, that's
overhead.
another thing too, you know, your
Yeah.
fire trucks.
Yeah, we know that.
Your fire truck, just the water alone is 18,000 pounds just in the water for the
Do they
big
go
tanker.
over there?
Yes.
Yeah, they gotta go through there.
Heaven forbid we had to call Paul Ray to Halifax.
Really, that's like waiting on dick in a snowstorm.
Yeah, all right. So, so we're gonna,
So the-
you're gonna do that clarification, yeah, but we,
No, as long as it gets done.
Yeah.
That's all. I don't care
Yeah.
if it's before or after,
right.
as long as it gets done.
My question was more so how it would get funded.
Yeah,
somehow,
That was
Just-
it.
we'll get them.
Okay.
We'll just have to bite the
We'll
bullet.
have to bite the
yeah.
bullet,
If
take
you
it out of
wanna pull it out of the
whatever.
free money, that's fine. And if it ends up we run out of money, we'll pay for it ourselves in our 15 budget, that's what I was getting at.
Okay.
Yeah,
in our bridge fund.
yeah.
FEMA 4022 Drive Vermont Extension and some grant agreement.
We have an extension until September 1st
Yeah.
And this means an extension to finish up the work,
on our
the mitigation work.
6 large projects
And then, and they, when do we get paid by them?
at the end of
September
the work
1st.
being complete.
Okay.
Or whenever we get it done.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing I have left to do is just gravel
Right, and, but when we get that done, we're relatively assured that they will pay us promptly.
it. We hope so.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
good.
mean, when Dan's got the last invoice
I
in
thought you had
and the
some more riprap
last
to do.
No,
timesheet
that's all done.
in,
Okay.
All we gotta do is just
pull
talk
all
to
those
them.
projects together and submit them.
Good, I'm glad.
And we got an extension till September
Mhm.
September
13th.
1.
Damn.
I like it when you come to the meetings. We all get caught up instead of Dick saying, the boys are working hard.
Well, we've been busy.
No, we know you have been busy.
No. Yeah, we're right. We started cutting brush and then we got the snowstorm, so that put the kibosh for that, so. And everything went good during the snowstorm except for one bridge abutment got broken down on the Hollow Bridge, but other than that, things went well.
Why, did you break it? Why are you laughing?
What happened?
Oh, I hit it with a wing. It was snowing like hell.
Which bridge? Just so we-
I'm-
Hollow,
Weatherhead Hill?
yeah.
Yeah,
Right at
that was
the turn?
broken
You
anyway.
can't, no, that's,
The next one,
the next one back was
Yeah, yeah.
definitely broken down.
yeah. I see that. And the way it was snowing, I'm surprised the bridge is still there, so, yeah, yeah.
But no, everything went well, no major delays, all the equipment's running well.
Good.
What's the 3 and 4 roads for?
That was left over from the last meeting, when you guys were talking about your work with Bill Jewell.
Oh, okay.
That you said you put it on for the next meeting, so I put it on for the next meeting.
Okay.
I don't know if you really want to do anything, or...
Oh, I didn't, I guess what I had said was, what was it, what, at the last meeting, do you have the minutes from that? I'll just pull up, what were we?
I don't know where we went with that, but
Yeah, I
but
just-
since then, Bill has said we should submit our CD that he's made, and well, I just gonna wait a year. We have another year.
Yes.
I want to wait a year to
That's
double
off
check
topic,
that.
but
Yeah,
I did, because I got it at noon on Friday,
yeah,
and we had already sent our certificate of highway mileage in.
yeah. Evidently, Bill has talked to Jonathan, and what we have, Bill and I went over for roads, we can send in and put back on the map.
What I had said at the last meeting was that I was fine with, we were asked about the definition of class 4 roads.
Yes.
And I said I had no problem with the definition of class 4 roads, that I do think at some point we need to address some of the inequities in what is and what isn't a class 4 road. And that's what I think, that I didn't see when we had this meeting.
Did Bill and I meet after the last meeting? We may
I don't know.
Because Bill suggested, and I will put it on to the planning commission to go over the class 4 roads, and this is a road we definitely will never do anything with, and Bill and I redid the policy. That's set.
Yeah, this is the ancient road one.
Yeah, no, this is class 4 road policy we did.
Okay.
And he said, take the roads that you're never gonna do anything with, the class 4 roads, and put them in column A, and column B, put the roads like the Baranack Road and Abeja Prince Road that these guys could use the equipment on if they were fixed up to a minimum.
Be like connector roads.
And fix them up so they could use them. And it's not, according to Bill, it doesn't create any obligation to do any more than just that. So that's something that.
Okay, so that would be a different class 4 road.
It's a different, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah. As far as the ancient roads, that's, yeah, that CD is the ancient road thing that can be sent in and put on the map, but that'll wait till another year. I want to look at that again and make sure that the roads we got are the right roads. And Dan, you may need to do that, so.
And that's the ancient roads piece, is the piece where you wanted to have them labeled as ancient roads, have them, and this is where it got confusing to me, you wanted to make them so they could be trails by going through a process of having them identified and then instantly thrown up, but therefore they become
Trails.
They
trails.
go on as class 4, and then you have
And
to
that
have
some
a
people would
hearing.
object to that because suddenly, through their backyard, there could possibly be a trail that had been an ancient road that they were maybe not even aware of.
Actually, a class 4 road.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that correct? Is
They
that
go on as
where
class-
the rub is?
They go on as class 4 roads, and then you guys would have to have
Yeah.
a mass hearing to
The fear
downgrade
is,
them.
I own a house that has a road by it, I don't know what it is, and all of a sudden it becomes a class 4 road, which means
Snowmobilers.
no, cars, all of that stuff can use this road. If we reclassify it to a trail,
Which is a class 4 road. No, a trail.
no, a trail is totally separate, then you can say no motorized vehicles on this road. And that leads it to a hiking trail or horseback or whatever. It's still the same 3-rod width, it's still a town road, but it's in a sense, but it's a trail, not a something motor vehicles can go on.
Right. Okay. And, again, it sounds like you know what you need to do with that. That's kind of been in your and Bill's domain, right? My issue had just to do with the not even really what you've been talking about so far, but the issue of some class 3 roads that I am surprised are still class 3 roads, or class 4 roads that could be, are as traveled as the class 3 roads, just that inequity that we all know about. We've talked about that before. So,
Yeah,
so-
that's one here, talk to Melody Hill.
Melody Hill, Bullock Road, as opposed to, Fitch Road. There are these ones where you go Allard Road, where you
Some
think,
of them they're maintained, but these aren't.
right, and then I even know why, but it still seems to me that it should
It's
be addressed.
confusing, it's very confusing.
Well,
Very hard for residents.
Russell Road, we
Yeah,
got,
yeah.
here's a bunch of them.
There's a bunch of them, and I just feel like
Potash Road.
we need to put them all, make a column of those, put them on the plate, not the ancient, but class 3 roads that, like those,
Right.
that are old, that go to one or two residents, and class 4 roads that in fact, maybe were thrown up at some point and used to be roads or serve many residents. We just need to look at that.
You take the road behind Governor's Mountain, it's a class 4 road, which you can never fix that up to make it.
Exactly, but I'd like to have us systematically look at those two classes, the class 3 and the class 4, where there seems like there's some inequity. That's what I meant, and I didn't mean it for this meeting. Because I think it's going to be a bit of a job going through the roads and maybe just sitting down making a list of them and then analyzing them and talking about them.
Yeah, and then it would be included in the ordinance.
Yeah, and that's why I thought before we get into the ordinance, we need to hassle
You
through
go
that.
Blacktop Taylor Lane, right?
All the way,
Shut up.
all the way right to Brattleboro then.
Yeah.
top two.
Okay, Dan, you anything else?
No, that's not it. I just stopped in to say hi and see everything's going.
Good.
Nice to
Thank
see
you for your work, snowstorm. I always feel kind of guilty when I'm in my bed and you're at this snuggie up there, you hear the plow go by, and you think,
About 2:30 in the morning.
somebody's working, it's not me.
I wish I was go home and see the plow in the truck.
I know.
Did Alan tell you I went down by the bridge and pushed that snow over the guardrails and
Where's that?
covered bridge?
Oh, no.
And widened it up by Joni? She's probably gonna swear at me, but
Here we go.
Well, we really appreciate that. We always do.
he does good work. He's slow though. I mean, when I met him Saturday morning, he was just poking up for
That's all I could see. You're lucky. I couldn't even see you until I got right on top of you.
Maybe we should plow him next time.
Warrants, you gonna hit it?
Warrants.
Anytime you guys want to go for a ride, you're more than welcome.
I want to plow sometime. In the winter.
Oh, Jesus.
Do I need a special license for that?
No, one time you don't.
Let her do it up at the school. You ain't
You
up
want
to
to
head
plow or
up
you want to do
I
a test?
totally do. I want to take that one town out and I do.
You can't
there. Might
take
have a class.
Yeah, all right.
Turn off the camera.
See y'all later.
What?
Bye, Danny.
Yeah, good night.
No, I wouldn't. Call for that event. I have a celebratory one.
So all these,
Yeah, there's, this is warrant 13, that's warrant 14.
okay.
And
I'd
then
like
these
to
are
make-
all the payroll.
All right. I'd like to make the following motion that we pay payroll of $127.13 for $4,979.47. Payroll of $2313 of $4,627.80. Payroll for $210.13 for $4,886.97. For a total of payroll for $14,494.24.
Two warrants in here.
There's one.
Warrant number 13 of 128.13 for $75,156.24. Warrant 14 for 211.13 for $20,899.42. For a total of all expenses of payroll and warrants of $110,549.90.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That was some
That's a
talking.
mouthful.
I only got one more. They both the same
No,
vote?
the one's under Troy.
Okay.
I got some of them down
And
there.
that first one's beefy that has the lease payment. Troy's paid out of the capital fund.
That truck is now ours.
We own it, 2006 International.
Look at that.
Hopefully it'll be the last one we take for a term that long.
Yes. Or Dick could be pulling some more numbers over the years. I'm missing a payroll.
That's it.
Yeah.
We got a payroll?
And here's,
That's it.
did you?
Oh, there
This
it
is
is.
warrant, I did both, I did them all now.
Okay, yep, that one's for you.
Here's the payrolls.
There's the other one.
Thank you.
Almost like Sunday supper.
I'm getting busy. After these four weeks like that.
Fast one.
Vermont Department of Health Officers News, winter 2013.
It's a newsletter for
Since the
you.
state of Vermont notified me that I health officer, I'll look at that.
Excellent, we appreciate your work in that regard.
Yeah.
You're going to be leading some exercise classes, Richard?
I am.
Good.
Serious
It's
exercise.
not a wellness office, it's a health office. He's gonna make sure we're clean and fine. So the wastewater and water supply divisions have now combined.
Yes, they
You
have.
said combing, but that's cute. That's all
Did
right.
I?
Yeah.
Instead of combining.
It's a teacher dinner.
Can't help it.
Drinking water and groundwater protection division is their new
That makes sense.
entity. Hopefully they've streamlined, but not held up the permit process. Yes.
I have a comment after this next article.
Act 250 notice, minor application, Commonwealth Dairy. It's just letting us know that if they wanted to
Troy, that's in there about the
You know.
68.
Is it?
have any opposition to their application, we could do that. And we
I just want to follow up with you about the email that you and I received from Craig Miskovich about
We
the,
need everybody's signatures. We have ours signed, and I think they might have theirs signed, but we don't have one
we just need to
document.
trade?
Yeah.
So do you need me to take ours to Craig's office and like,
I could do that, actually.
Okay, or I would, whatever. I'm happy to do that. I just
That's
want to
AFD.
get her done. That is AFD, right,
Yes.
thank you. Okay.
Hard.
Yeah, no, I
Track
got
of
it. I explained it to Mike today, and then I messed it up today, so that's sewer talk, not water talk, so that's TFT.
Okay. Wastewater permit application for that property on Weatherhead Hollow, and I think you.
Yeah, Wolfen Grounds is the yellow house. It sits just below Blue Heron Drive. It sits out there. There was a trailer that they
Rounds?
tore down. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
It's actually John Franklin.
Oh, okay.
The other one is Kenny Shield. That's on Lake Ridge. That's actually,
This one, is that one? That's Blue Heron?
And
I thought that
past
was
that.
I thought that one was across the street from Mary Ann's, by the...
this one? No. It's way down,
Oh, it is.
almost down to Valcourts.
It's where
Oh,
Eric
okay.
Brown's.
Sits on the left just before Valcourts.
Okay, I thought it was the foundation that was up
No,
by the
no.
stable there.
This Kenny Shield has basically a young couple living with him that, I guess he's more or less, according to Penny, he sort of adopted him, and I don't build a house there on Lake Ridge.
Okay.
Sheriff Department stars.
You want to keep going? You want me to?
Huh?
You want to keep going?
Yeah,
This is an oldie.
that's an
It's
oldie.
from December, if you want to look at it.
Okay.
And then there's Vermont League of Cities and Towns Select Board Institutes coming up in March, if anybody's interested.
What are they about?
I think the usual. I mean, I have the information if you'd like to see
I
that.
definitely will go to one of them, but I'm not sure. Probably the one in Montpelier.
It is, it's at Capital Plaza.
Yeah.
You can, if you want to get together with me and we'll figure out and we'll get you all registered up.
Well, it's not until we'll go across the
Okay.
bridge.
Do we want to go back into, do you want to go
Yes.
into an executive session? Okay, good.
So that's all the action we have, and we don't anticipate taking any further action. However, having said that, I think we need to move back into executive session to discuss an open position. We're not going to be making an action. We're just going to do more
Which
figuring out
position?
the lister's
Oh,
position.
lister, oh. Do we need to do that in executive session, as long as he shuts the thingy off? I mean, and your report, I mean,
I feel kind of like we do,
Well, I
because
think
I feel
it's-
like there's some, because I think we need to discuss some options, and that involves people's names, and I think
Yeah, I
I
know.
want to do that.
okay,
Yeah.
if you want to get naming names.
Yeah,
I didn't,
Yeah.
uh,
So if you guys have, if you, Mike, had any questions about the list or anything else before, we could answer those before we go into executive sessions, if that's easier for
Ken, do
you.
you have a quick minute then?
Do we want to do that? Just give-
Does it relate to your
budget,
Sure.
Sure.
Up to you. Yeah, so I mean, I didn't know Frank Rafferty, and so I just wondered what more you can tell me about his service to the town, anything. You said over 30 years.
Yeah, I mean, Frank has been, I don't know when he began his service. I know that when I moved here in 1980, he was a lister at that time. So I know it's over 30 years.
Yeah.
Is he the current chair?
Yes.
Okay. I'm sorry, you were going to say.
And he has, I think he started at a pretty young age, because I think probably, he might have started right about then. But I will tell you that there has not been an obituary at this point. I think there's been an effort to contact next of kin, but he lived alone, and our understanding is that he died of maybe the flu. We don't,
Not even sure.
he was found at his home.
He was an extremely private man.
Extremely. So I know it's an odd situation for us to know so little, but
Do you
some.
know what day this was, or what?
Yes.
He was found Tuesday,
yeah.
Do you know how old he was by chance?
63.
63.
This is normally stuff that I would just get from an obit, but I
Yeah,
just say there's not
it's-
one, so.
No.
And anything else you want to say about, I know you said he's a private man, so I don't know if you can say anything else about, I mean, 30 years is a long
We
time.
don't even really know him that well.
Yeah.
I said he's a private man. He has certainly served the town faithfully for many, many years, and to the best of his ability.
Now, do you already have, I know you probably have some ideas in mind. I mean, do you want me to say something to the effect of if somebody wants to apply for this job?
I think that's a good
It's
idea.
It's an elected official.
Yeah.
So we
it's
will
not
be
like a
making an
job.
appointment.
Until the next election.
Katie, where's that thing that you handed out about the lister?
At some point, we will make an appointment to fill his term.
About,
And that term goes till March of
you know what, I can put
2014.
that
Right, yes.
no, here, I've got it right
Oh,
here.
perfect. Is that the...
Here, I can give this to Mike.
Yep.
Okay. This is due to the passing of Senior Lister Frank Rafferty statutory obligations, preferred qualifications, and I can give this to you.
Oh, that'd be great. Thank you.
So,
I can keep this?
we will be making an appointment, but we would certainly love to hear from anybody who might be
Huh?
interested.
Okay.
That's what you guys pay.
Is there anything else I have to say on that topic? I mean, I know that, as you say, you didn't know him very well, so...
Oh, no, he was just a very private person, and he knew a lot of stuff about being a lister.
He was extremely well informed.
Extremely well informed. And I think overall, his knowledge will be greatly missed.
That would be fair to say.
Thank you. Okay, thanks.
Did we adjourn? No.
We're not adjourned because we're going to executive, I made a motion to go into executive session to discuss that opening.
At 7:17.
And we will be taking no action on this, obviously, because we have to.
Well, all those in favor?
Aye. Sorry.
We are out of executive session, and now I'd like a motion to adjourn.
You're out of executive session at 7:32
Yeah.
or 13:30.
Well, actually, we moved early.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.